TLDR, if you haven't played this game, go play this game. What are you doing watching this video? Just go play Monster Hunter Wilds, man. You won't regret it, I promise. I've been playing this game for like around 10 years now, and like Monster Hunter is very close to me. I started on 4 Ultimate, and I've only started to like the game more and more after that. And watching it grow to the absolute giant that it is today brings me a lot of pride, especially since I believe it's top 5 on Steam now for most concurrent players ever. So absolutely goated from the one true franchise that deserves it. And honestly, when I first wrote this script, I was going to upload this video like the week after the game came out, but I kind of just kept playing it and put back this video. I've already put over 100 hours into the game. I reached HR 100 and finally decided it's probably a good time to actually start, talking about the game and whatnot. So we're just going to get right into it and start talking about probably my game of the year. I don't think anything's going to beat it. Monster Hunter Wilds. Before talking about the game, I will be talking about literally everything, which means there will be spoilers. Just click off the video if you don't want to be spoiled. I'm talking about Monster Hunter. It's kind of impossible not to talk about the game without talking about its weapons and all the mechanics that come with using said weapons. Personally, I've only been using Gun Lance, Charge Blade, and Greatsword, but all 3 of those weapons have all the new mechanics that they've added in this generation. And I believe that the new mechanics in this generation have been very, very well made. Though I think they're a little strong and wouldn't mind if a little bit of it got nerfed in a certain way. I just don't know how they would go about it. But the mechanics I'm talking about are the focus mechanic and the actual, I want to say attack clashing or power clashing the monsters themselves, and that includes like offset attacks and whatnot. And on top of that, the new interactions with the monsters when you open up wounds. Focus mechanic, if you don't know, is the ability to actually aim your weapon at the monster. Now this sounds fucking weird. What do you mean aim your weapon at the monster? So whenever you hold left trigger on controller when you're playing this game, you can actually aim it around like a first-person shooter. This makes a lot of weapons infinitely better because you're able to precisely aim where you want to hit rather than just kind of guesstimating with your character movement. Like in previous games, you always had to like turn your character in a certain direction in order to hit in that direction. But now you can just look in that direction, hold the left trigger or whatever the focus button is on keyboard and mouse, and just kind of fucking hit them there. This is amazing, mainly because it buffs weapons in a way that they wouldn't before. Like True Charge / Greatsword now can go literally one direction and then 180 into the other to catch a monster escaping. It's a lot of fun. This thing is goated. Keep it forever. Don't get rid of the focus mechanic. With the focus mechanic, though, comes with it wounds, which I believe is what this was intended for, but everyone uses it for everything else, so nice. With wounds will open up while you're fighting a monster, and they'll either be red or blue, depending on whether or not it's a normal wound or a tempered wound. And yeah, basically destroying these wounds will stagger the monster or knock it over, depending on, the monster itself. This is really nice. I actually like this feature just because it gives the player a little bit more control over the monster. Like I've literally done it to where I've stopped a monster from flying upwards because my sword caught one of its wounds and brought it back down to the ground, and it's like, oh, that's so cool, oh, epic. Not only that, but as far as weapons interacting directly with the monster, we have the power clashing and the offset attacks. Now, the offset attacks are basically a fucking for honor parry, dude. That's probably the best way to describe that. You throw out an attack the moment a monster attacks you, and chances are you can stagger it back and do a follow-up attack. Not a lot of weapons can do this, if I remember correctly. The ones I remember off the top of my head are Greatsword, Insect Glaive, Hammer, and I believe Switch Axe. That shit's cool. And then power clashing is anime style bulwark. I'm fighting. I run away. Hold him back, and you push him back and stuff. And you basically wrestle at the monster, which is fucking sick, by the way. You could do it with anything with a shield. So this includes Greatsword, Lance, Gun Lance, Charge Blade. But off of the weapons and stuff, I believe the only thing to really mention here is that the weapons do feel really strong now because of or way too strong because of the wounds and stuff. But honestly, do I really care that much? No. Do I feel cool when I do it? Yep. Is that all that matters? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this game does make you feel like a badass, especially with the ways you can fucking parry and clash. And because of that, this game, does a really good job in its presentation against the fight against the monsters. Now, talking about the monsters themselves, there are 29 monsters in this game, which is around, normal for Monster Hunter. The one issue I do have with there being 29 monsters specifically is that 2 of them are Rathalos. Yeah, I really totally like Rathalos. The amount of skeletons, though, does bring bring a variety of different challenges in this game, especially with that new one they added in, which is kind of like a squid thing. There are 2 monsters that rock the skeleton, which would be Zu, Wu, and New Udra. And these monsters are fucking phenomenal. I honestly, and I kind of stand by this, it's between Zu or New Udra and Jindahad for the best fight in the game. Like, I don't even think Arkwell told the best fight in the game. I think it's between those 2. But besides the point, the amount of skeletons that this game brings in is Leviathan, you have the beast monsters, you have the wyverns, and yada yada. You have the Gormagala skeleton, which I think it's just the Elder Dragon skeleton. Though, like, just because of the amount of different skeletons, all these monsters do fight differently, and they have their own little quirks and niches in their own skeletons or in their own monsters as well. Like the Gongolala being the shit monster, and the like I said earlier, New Udra being a fucking fire squid, right? Like that shit's sick. Like no one is gonna change my mind on that. Not only that though, you do get a lot of new tools to help you out in this game. One of the really nice quality of life changes is the binoculars, which sounds stupid, right? But I've been trying to go for crown hunts in this last couple days, and yeah, this thing makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to do unnecessary hunts if I think it's a small crown or a miniature crown or a big crown. It's really nice to hear. As far as actual things that the hunter gets besides his weapon, the hunter also gets the Secret, which is just a better Palamute in every way, shape, or form. No one's going to change my mind on that. I don't like the Palamute, and I never will. Sucks for Rise, I guess. Alma, enough said. And the Clutch Claw does return, but it's not in the same way that it was in World. The World's Clutch Claw was very strong, especially because you could grapple onto the monster. They kind of removed that in this game, which thank God. I actually think the wounds are a lot better compared to the Clutch Claw in World, just because the wounds require you to actually fight the monster. So just off of that, you do need to do more like there's more effort behind it rather than just, I'm gonna shoot this guy in the face and then break his face and make him run into a wall and write that for 3 damage. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the hunter gets a good upgrade. The monsters get good upgrades too. They're all pretty fast. They're all pretty strong. The wounds kind of let you, bring that temperature down. And not only that, but, being able to power clash and parry and all that too makes this game fucking feel great. Final thing to really mention here as far as like strictly gameplay, and I believe that the sound design and the music in this game, always S tier from Capcom sound team. They do a phenomenal job as usual. Rathalos finally gets his own theme in the game. He doesn't just get the area theme, which, probably a good idea for your original flagship. And not only that, but this game looks good and bad. And I'll get into more detail on what I mean on that, but like even just like kind of playing passively, like this game looks insanely well. And not only that, but there's so much detail and stuff going on in the environment. Not even just like the actual environment you fight the monsters in, but like just even the hub areas where you just kind of like watch people do stuff. Like there, there's a video you can probably find online of like the entire animation Gemma does in her workshop, and you're just like, oh my god, that thing does not loop for like 40 minutes. It's crazy. Not literally, but yeah. Anyways, this game is really good, and honestly, the experience going through low rank is probably the weakest portion for me in this game. Main reason I say that is because I feel like this game plays like a PlayStation title, and if you don't know what I mean by that, then God bless you. But this is the first Monster Hunter with like a real story. I would want to say, like in previous Monster Hunter, it was you go into an area, you research the monster. Oh no, the monster's crazy. We got to go put this thing down. You go put the monster down. Everyone celebrates, right? And even World wasn't even that crazy of the story. It was literally the same exact thing, right? And that's basically the long and short of the Monster Hunter stories. It's like they're very simple and they don't really take out of the gameplay because, you know, it's usually just like a cutscene or some dialogue in between hunts, and it's no more than 5 minutes. That is not the case in this game. In this game, in between hunts is a lot of cutscenes, and this is only in low rank, if I'm being fair, right? So this is during the main story, and the main story for me took 10 hours to get through low rank, and it feels like a very long time to me. And that sounds about right for most low rank playthroughs. Like if you're just playing through low rank, it would take around 10 hours, but you would usually hunt a lot more than you would be talking. Because I definitely feel like that was one thing that I didn't like about low rank, was how front and in your face the story was, which is strange to me as someone who's been playing this game for a long time. Do I think it's a complete turnoff? No. But personally, Nada needs to stop thinking he's Arkveld, because, you know, I am wearing his entire family lineage on me right now as a hunter. I won't really get into the story, because my opinion on the story, again, just because of like, I don't really care for it. I'm playing this game for a completely different reason. Not as annoying, and that's about it. I like the aura farming from the hunter too. That's pretty cool. After low rank, you're into high rank now, and high rank in this game is phenomenal. It feels like the original Monster Hunters. You just go around hunting monsters, upgrading gear, and it really is just that cycle for the entirety of low rank. There is a side plot, but again, it goes back to that more original feeling of Monster Hunter, where it's like, the monsters are going crazy. We need to go see why. And then you figure out why the monsters are going crazy, and then you go handle an issue. In this case, it's just Gore Magala. Like, he just causes everything, and you go kill him, and that's it. GG's. But yeah, I mean, on high rank, the high rank grind in this game is very similar to Worlds. It's a lot of RNG decoration farming, though I feel like in this game it's a lot better, as the investigations can give you hella rewards. I had an Arkveld hunt that had, I think, 9 or 10 max rarity armor decorations, which is just insanely good, because in World you did not get the same thing comparably, and I really appreciate that, because it definitely gives the player more agency as far as like the builds they want to make, and like how long it'll take to get those builds. And that's just another goated thing about this high rank, is that the investigations actually give like rewards that are really worthwhile. There's nothing like absurd about it, where it's like, oh, you got to do one monster over and over and over again. It's like you're actually incentivized to hunt the different monsters depending on the rewards you need. Like even some baby monsters will give you like beast gems or bird wyvern gems, and some armor sets and weapons require that. And instead of just, oh, I need to hunt this thing over and over again, it's like, oh, this investigation guarantees me a gem, which is really nice. It's really nice that they do that in this game. The other RNG thing in this game is the artisan weapons, something like that. These are endgame weapons you can build from defeating tempered monsters, and they are completely customizable. So unlike the monster weapons, which have a set damage, element, affinity, skills, these weapons have they're completely blank until you build them, and you can build them on any element, any damage, any affinity, and they all have level 3 decoration slots, which means you can shove in a bunch of different skills. Which is, I mean, I like them. I think the paralysis charge blade is overpowered. I've been using it. Granted, I do run a great sword most of the time, but whenever I feel like burning through hunts real fast, I'll just whip out the charge blade. But yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as high rank goes, it's, you know, it's grindy, but nothing that I'm not used to. And I'd say the grind in this game is a lot more reasonable than in previous games, like in World. Now for like the things that I don't really like about this game. Big issues for me in this game was, one, and first and foremost, I'm playing this game on PC, and unfortunately because of that, I'm gonna need to spend $3,000 on a 5090 in order to play this game properly. Just to show you my specs here, I have an i7 9700K with a 2080 Super. Yeah, 5 years ago this thing was a beast. Now it's like on its knees with Monster Hunter Wild. And the big thing here is that I am not expecting to run this game at ultra settings, 4K 120 hertz, right? I'm trying to run this game on low settings, 1080p or 1440p or 1080p, and the frame rate's extremely choppy. I had installed like some performance mods in order to get this game to like run better. It just to have a stable experience, and like that's just not acceptable, unfortunately. Like, as much as I do love this game, and as much as I am just dealing with the fact that the frame rate's horrible, and you know, the game just artifacts randomly sometimes in the ruins. Yeah, it's fucking weird. This game hopefully will be fixed over time. I'm hoping that Capcom will not just throw the PC port aside when they start updating it. So I'm hopeful that they will fix it, but I'm upset that it came out like this. The other big thing that I think is more of a negative in this game, and it's more than I think a lot of people have been talking about, they haven't really been talking about it, I should say, is that the final boss of low rank, I feel I can't really give a solid opinion on it. And in fact, I don't even have any of my own gameplay on it, is because when I was playing this game, I just kind of wanted to play through it. I was like, oh, I'll just go back and refight it. Fortunately, and this will probably not be an issue down the line, but the final boss of low rank, Zoshia, can only be fought one time. Why? I don't understand why that's a thing. I mean, it's really dumb because he doesn't have his own armor set. He doesn't, you know, you can only fight him once. It's just, okay, whatever, I guess. Not only that, the other big issue is in high rank. There are no invader archetype monsters. In every game beforehand, there was always a monster that would just pop in and say hello. World had Basil and Devil Joe, Rajang and Master Rank. Even before that, it was always, you know, Devil Joe was just the staple of that. And not only that, but like Basil was a really good introduction. Like the B-258 bomber, like, or B-28 bomber, whatever the hell it's called, right? Introducing itself every quest you played in the world. And in this game, it just doesn't exist. It to me, it feels like it is such a missed opportunity, especially with how, I don't want to say how little monsters there are, but a lot of the monsters you fight in high rank, you already fought in low rank. And so I'm just expecting something to show up 90% of the time, and it just doesn't. And that's really disappointing. Who knows? This April update is coming out soon. I know on the 25th, they are going to release a teaser to it, and that comes with Mizitsune and other monsters. So who knows? This criticism might be gone by the time that update comes out. But as far as an opening for the game, that really sucks that there's no invader at all. It's really disappointing. But yeah, another thing that I want to mention as a negative is that playing with your friends in this game is an absolute headache. It took us a while to figure out how the partying and stuff actually work. and it's really disappointing that like they didn't just either keep it how they did in World or in Rise, or just made it like I invite you to this quest I posted. They made it to where you have to join a link party, and then once you join the link party, your friend can post a quest, and then you'll get a notification or an invite to the quest, and then you can join the quest. Or that you confuse link party with environmental link, and that's what we did for the first 30 minutes of us trying to figure out how to play together, and no one could really play with each other because we were all confused on how to do it. I'm not gonna lie, once we figured it out, it's easy to join each other, but God, just make your systems more simple, Capcom. Like, oh man. But anyways, I honestly think that really sums up my thoughts in this game, at least all the obvious ones. Like, I could totally tell you how each monster has its own unique thing and whatnot, but like when we're talking Monster Hunter, you really kind of want to talk about the overall game, because each of the individual monsters, like there's likes and dislikes. Like I fucking hate Rathalos. I will always fucking hate Rathalos, and no one will ever change my fucking mind on Rathalos. And it just is what it is. So personally, they just need to update this game, fix some of the performance issues, hopefully let us refight the final boss again, and add some invaders. Probably a good idea. Yeah, besides that, I mean, this game is fucking game of the year for me. I got no issues with it beyond just performance and being annoyed at Nata. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Go play Monster Hunter though after doing that. And yeah, thanks for watching.